Well, I'm starting another week working on the C-Cab project. If you've been following along, last week we got the radius pieces put in for the window openings. I got all that welded. I'm not 100%, but I still got to close up the end, weld the ends shut here. And now what I'm doing this morning, I had been starting, I spent about an hour already. You can see in my bender here, I've been trying to put a bend in this piece of 1 inch. And what I want to do is come up here, tie in right here. I'm going to cut the visor off at 6 inches long. And it's going to come off of here and then taper upwards. So this gets wider as it goes back. And then the plan was to match this radius right here to about here, and then put another radius in it this way and come back here. But I'm having such a hard time. I spent, like I said, I've been on this one here for over an hour just to get it bent that far. Never mind get it bent back the other way. So I think what I'm going to do now, we're going to change the plan a little bit. Come off the front the same way, come up here maybe about 3 inches above this one right here, and then come straight back. And I went ahead and tack welded on some 1/2x1/2 scrap that I had laying around and hold this at 48 inches right here, which is the same as what the roof is right here, 48 inches. So let me get this out of the bender. We'll stick it up there and we'll see what it looks like right now before I bend it anymore. Well, we're getting close. I've been having, like I said earlier, a lot of trouble making this bend. You can see now, I got it pretty nice right there. And what it is, the way it's set up now, the height of this right here is the same height as this right here. It's just this little crown here goes up. And I think instead of trying to make the back flat, it'll look, make it look more boxy looking, I'm gonna leave it curved like that and let it slope back down in the back. Plus, this will give me a lot of headroom because right now this will be the roof here. This is all gonna be sheet metal. So I'll have more headroom inside in the middle right there where I'm sitting. Now the trick is to see if I can bend another one to match that. Like I said, I probably spent an hour and a half, 2 hours. I bent it too much, then I had to flip it over and bend it back, and then bent it again, back and forth, back and forth. Just trying to get a good, get it to look good. But it's got a nice taper up in the front now. I think I got no kinks in it. It's nice and smooth, the radius. So I think I'm gonna go with that and see if I can copy it for the other side. Now I'm gonna see if we can bend this one to match. I had the dimensions I wrote down on the first one. I marked it from the end here to here was 30 inches, and that's where I started to bend at 30 inches. And then I measured this one that's up here now, and it starts straightening back out at another 32 inches from there. So what we're gonna do is, this just cranks through here. People are not familiar with it, but I got a mark here. I'm gonna bend between here and here to put in the radius. We'll see how it goes. I'll try to film some of this, but I don't know if I'll get it all because it takes a while. If I crank down on it too hard to try to bend it too fast, it'll go in kink. So let's see. I'm gonna start here at this mark. Some tension on it. I put them on the floor. You can see how much I got to go here. It's getting there. It's looking good. I just remark it a little bit, bend it a little further that way. I'll keep stopping right about here where I got it marked. Looks like we'll get it. It's just gonna take a little bit more bending. We're getting close. You can see here. I just got a little bit more. Got late last night. My arms got tired bending, cranking that bending machine. So I had give up. Maybe we'll start again this morning. Like I said, you can see here I only got a little bit space there, and from here back we look okay. So let me we'll get started this morning. I'll get it back in the bender and see if we can finish. I've been going back and forth, bend it, flatten it, bend it, flatten it, trying to get them to match. And I know I struggle to bend one, but I thought, boy, if I could get both of them in there and bend them, run it one time together, they would match. Well, by God, I did it. It was hard as hell to bend it, but I clamped one end together, left the other end loose so it can move, and I bent it. So let me set it back on the floor, and we'll see what it looks like. Well, rolling them together seemed to help. That's about as good as I'm going to get them right there. Next thing I'll do is I'm going to put it back up on the roof, and we'll see what it looks like up there before I go ahead and make the back pieces to support it. I got them sitting up there, just moving them back and forth, trying to get getting the look I want. I like to keep this look right here where this tapers wider as it goes back. If I move the thing forward and put the crown forward, then this kind of flattens out a little bit, loses the taper. And I also like to keep the crown, the high part of it, even with about where I'm sitting. And that gives me the most headroom when I'm sitting in it. So let me look around the other side, see what it looks like. I'm going to trim these here, even with the bottom one. And I want to get a piece of round pipe. And then I'm going to put a radius here and then weld a piece of pipe across here and then box in the end so it's got a nice rounded look along the front. And then the way it sits now, the high spot's in the middle, and then it's going to taper back to 48 inches. And 48 inches is the height of this. So this in the back will be even, but it'll have a little arch in it. So next thing I'm going to do, I got some more tubing I got to cut. I'm going to cut the upright pieces for the corner out of 1 inch. So let me get those cut, and then once I get those cut and tacked in there, we can tack the cross piece in. I'm gonna go take these over to the grinder, clean them up real quick, and then we'll get them set up for welding. Well, next thing we're gonna do is I gotta cut these temporary braces I had welded on here. We'll get these cut off real quick, get it cleaned up, and then I'll get ready for the other ones. Well, I got it all clamped. Everything's in position, and almost made a little mistake. I noticed that the arches on the top didn't match perfect, and I couldn't understand what happened. Well, what I did was I went and measured from the front on both sides, and when I bent the two pieces of pipe, I always measured from the straight side in the back. So there was 1.25 inch difference in the back. So I took the clamps off and adjusted them to get an even distance on both in the back. And then the arches matched. And you can see here, I went and checked it with a level, and now it's level across the top of the roof. So luckily I caught that. I'm gonna go ahead and, like I said, we'll tack all these in, and then the only thing left to do is cut this cross piece to go across the top here. Next thing I'm gonna do, we're gonna trim off the excess in the front and the back, especially the back. I almost hit my head twice on it where it's hanging down. Well, we had a busy day today. I'll give you a little walk around so you can see how it looks so far. Like I said earlier, right here, I'm gonna cut this round and put a piece of pipe across there so when the sheet metal comes down to the roof, it'll connect to this pipe going across and it'll make a nice round edge on there. And then also in the back, I left the overhang for now, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna put a hatch door or double doors in the back. And then I'm not sure, I might cut it flush or might have the sheet metal make a little lip out to the end there just to help keep the water off the back of the doors. I'm not sure, but as you can see, it's coming along pretty good. Also this week, I got to call my engine builder. He's supposed to have an opening this week to get my engine in the shop. So I want to see if he does. I might make a video going over there. We'll take it over there and he can go through it, check all the bearings, the bore, make sure everything's okay. And then I'm not sure what I'm going to start on next. I could either start on the firewall and the dash part of it, or what I think I might do is if Tom says he can do the engine, I'm going to pull the engine and then take everything apart and then go ahead and start welding everything. Maybe spend 2 days, weld all the frame, the body, everything fully welded. That way I can paint the frame, put it back together. And then when he's done with the engine, we can, put it back in. Well, I appreciate everybody watching. I'm going to keep it short. Don't forget, like, subscribe, and comments, questions, suggestions, always welcome. Appreciate it. And thanks again for watching.